Hi Stampers, Sandi MacIver here from Stampin' and Blogging and Stamping with Sandi, and I have a new project for you today. Check this out. Isn't this the coolest little thing ever? And it was created with one of the new, get this, flip card Thinlits from Stampin' Up. Aren't they cool? Now, I shared with you a flyer at the beginning of the month, and I'm just going to zoom in here a little bit because I want to show you this part of the flyer where it shows you that there are two different shapes that you can get in this flip card. You can get the one that is called the Label Card Thinlits Die, or you can get the circle. And today we're going to be playing with the circle. And check out all the extra little goodies that you get with this guy. They had so many of them, and I decided that they needed their own little case. So this is for the labels. These are all the extra pieces that you get. And with the circle one, these are all the pieces that you get. And we're going to be playing with a couple of those today. Very cool, right? You may notice the shape of this little guy, and when you place your piece of cardstock in there, you will see that it cuts a card that is just exactly this size and does this. You may have noticed if you place this on top of this card, my new card's a little bit bigger. It's got this whole extra little flap into the end, and I'm going to show you how to place your cardstock in here and cut this with your Big Shot. Okay, so for the normal size of this card, you're going to need a 5.5 by 6 piece of cardstock. For my little share today, you're going to be using 5.5 by 8.5. And here's what you do. You just pop it underneath these two little guys, and you line it up just like that. Then you're going to lay it down on top of your magnetic platform. And I also have a cutting pad below. I'm going to be placing another cutting pad on top, and I'm simply going to run it through my machine. And it's going to crack and groan and bounce and jump around and make all kinds of scary noises. Don't worry about it. All right. It pops out the other side. I'm just going to move my Big Shot out of the way. Okay, so when you remove it from the die, it's going to look like this, and you're going to see that there's a little score line here that was caused by this edge of the framelit. And what we're going to do is we're going to fold that in, okay? And then you're going to fold these pieces over. And I like to use my bone folder to make sure that I get them very well burnished so that you've got nice crisp lines, and so it will open and close and fold nicely. So hang around now. I'm going to show you how I decorated it. Okay, for the next step we're going to cut the designer paper, and I just want to bring the card back in for a sec. I like having a little 1/4 of an inch around my designer paper so that the outside of my element shows. And I like it around the little flip-flop too. So I wanted to show you how I accomplished that. And don't worry, I'm going to post a full PDF file and give you all the measurements for all these little pieces of cardstock as well, and the designer paper. And so what I did, as you can see, is I've tucked this underneath where the circles are going to cut, and I have cut it down so that there's a 1/4 of an inch on either side. And for this case, even though I'm working on my magnetic platform, and if you don't have one, I'm very sorry. We will let you know as soon as they are back in stock, because I can honestly tell you this is my new favorite tool to run through the Big Shot. It's just saving me an absolute ton of money. All right, so I have all of my little guys in place, and I am going to pop my second cutting pad over top, and again run this through the machine and listen to it crack and groan and carry on. Whoa! So there we go. Then we've got these two cool pieces, and all we need to do is add some snail to the back. And just a tip, make sure you go really close around these little circles and have some snail attached to those so that they will stay down nice and flat on your card for you and not buckle. All right, and I like to pop my card down flat when I'm attaching these. It gives me a little bit more room to position it exactly where I would like it to be. All right, so then we take the second guy. We're going to do the same thing, add our snail, go around the outside edges, around that little circle so it stays nice and flat, and then pop it in here just like that. So we have a couple more pieces. I have this little guy here, and I have a piece for the back, and as you can see, I added the Seasons of Style washi tape to the bottom of this little guy, plus a little parcel that came in the package. I colored him and stamped him on there, so I'm going to attach him to my inside flap, and I'm going to leave the rest of that blank so that I can write a little something to the friend I'm sending this to. And so when we close it, you see we're doing pretty well, but we have this little naked piece here, and guess what? This piece fits perfectly on there. So let's just add that little guy too, right after we run out of snail. There we go. So the stamp set I used today is called Wishing You. It's in Stampin' Up's Holiday Catalog, and there are 4 cute little stamps that come in it, and I actually used all 4 of them for my card today. And as you can see, I had a little fun coloring. I used my Real Red and my Old Olive so that I could mix up my colors, and then I also used it for my little sentiment. Okay, so now that I have those done, all I need to do with this is bring in my 2.5-inch circle punch. Find a spot where it's, there we go, where it will center, punch it out, and I am going to do the same thing with the sentiment. And let me just show you a little trick that I did for this little guy. I brought the washi tape back in, and what I did was I pasted a piece across the top. I did green on the top, okay, and then I grabbed the red dots, these are kind of cool, and I ran that across the bottom. Alright, so see how I put the green one on there crooked? Let me show you a trick. You can very gently pull this back and it does become repositionable, and you can straighten it out just like that. So washi tape is very thin, it's very forgiving, and it's sticky, so all you do is just fold the extra pieces back, okay? And then you're going to grab your snail, the one with snail in it. I need to move that out of the way. I keep picking it up. And this is actually going to be the inside of my card. And so I'm going to attach that. Oh, I just got to fold that little guy under there. He's not perfect. All right. We're going to pop him there. And then I have this other little guy. We're going to quickly add some snail to the back of him. Flip the card over. And he's going to go right in there. Liking it so far? All right, I am too. All right, so let's add our next element, and it's going to be the Decorative Details lace tape. Say that 3 times quickly. I have white over here, so I want some white over here on this pretty red designer paper. And so working right from the spool, I am simply going to lay down this very cool lace tape. I'm loving this stuff. Quick and easy, adds a nice design element to your card without a whole bunch of extra time. And then just take a pair of non-stick scissors and trim off the excess from either end so you get a nice neat finish on the edge of your card. Isn't that pretty? All right, so I think we just have one more design element. We need our other sentiment. So I brought my Big Shot back in, and I have my sentiment that I colored and stamped on my piece of Whisper White, and I have another piece of Old Olive, and we're going to use a couple of the design elements that came as additions to our kit when we got our flip card. And look how nicely these fit. Very cool, almost like it was created for it. One never knows for sure, right? Okay, place your cutting pad on top and run this through your Big Shot, and you have an instant 2-layered sentiment. Okay, so I added a couple of dimensionals to the back and layered them, and then I have 2 more dimensionals on the back of this little guy. So I'm just going to close my card up, and I'm going to center this little guy down the bottom. There we go. My flip card is complete, so check that out. It flips that way, it flips that way. Isn't that cute? And it fits inside a regular size envelope. So I hope you enjoyed my share today, and have fun making these cards, and I'll see you soon for some more fun. Happy stamping! Bye-bye!